Hi guys, let's do another English practice lesson. Today the article's name is Cut UPFs to Prevent Heart Disease, says study. It was posted July 24th, 2026, the level advanced. Some vocabulary: fiber. You just check the pronunciation.
Fiber.
Fiber, a substance found in fruit, vegetables that helps food pass through the body. Chronic, continuing for a long time or happening often. Consumption, the action of using food. Energy, the amount of something used. Incident, the number or rate of a disease, crime, or other negative thing. Restriction, a law or rule that limits what is allowed to happen or be done. Guideline, a rule, instruction about how something should be done. Okay, so let's start the reading. Ultra processed foods like fast food, frozen meals, sugary breakfast, cereals, and fizzy drinks are consumed regularly by people around the world. And in countries like the US and UK, UPFs make up over 50% of the average diet. However, UPFs are often low in vitamins, minerals, and fiber while having a lot of added sugar, salt, and fat. And diets that are high in UPFs have been linked to a range of chronic health problems. A study from Canada even suggests that reducing UPFs in people's diets could save thousands of lives in the country. The study, led by a research team at the University of Montreal, looked at data on the eating habits of Canadian adults in 2015 and found that UPFs made up an average of 43% of their daily diet. The researchers used previous research on the links between UPFs and heart disease to calculate the level of risk in UPF consumption. And from this, they created a risk assessment model. They, they then looked at data on the actual incidence of heart disease across the country in 2019. Using their risk assessment model, they found that UPF consumption probably caused between 23% and 38% of all new heart disease cases and heart disease deaths in Canada. The researchers further estimated that a 20% reduction in UPF consumption would prevent 16,800 new cases of heart disease and 3,100 deaths in the country. And a 50% reduction in UPF consumption could prevent 45,900 new cases and 80,300 deaths. Although this study was focused on Canada, the researchers said that reducing UPFs in other high-income countries would likely produce similar results. They suggested that a number of measures could be introduced to help reduce UPF consumption, such as warning labels on food packages, the use of food taxes to raise the prices of UPFs, restrictions on marketing for UPFs, and stricter government guidelines on ingredients. Okay, I could understand the text, so let's move on to the discussion. What are your thoughts on the study's findings? I thought very useful, and the type of study that warn us about the process, the ultra processed foods is very good to give us awareness about our health, our heart health. So it was certainly very useful. Are you surprised that the UPFs make up so much of the Canadian diet? I've never studied about the Canadian diet, so for me it's a surprise. I know that it's common in the US, a high level of UPFs during the diet. Yeah. Have UPFs become a big part of the typical diet in your country? Sure, it's so common we find UPFs in the supermarket. It's a easier way to eat, and the most of the time the taste is good, but at the same time is bad for our health. So, but it's really very common now. Yeah. Do you think UPFs should have warning labels? Sure. I think at least a warning labels is it's necessary for warn the people. And the better scenario maybe would be ban all of ultra processed foods, but a warning is a start. Yeah. Would you support higher taxes on UPFs? Sure, I think it's a way to people avoid to buy UPFs and start buy more natural foods. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the further discussion. What unhealthy foods do you find it hard to resist? Certainly is the food that has sugar. We need maybe do a detoxify of sugar to be easier resist that type of food. Yeah. Do you try to avoid eating too many processed foods? Yes, I am doing a diet that I try avoid the maximum processed foods. Yeah. How often do you check nutritional labels on foods and drinks? This year I started to check more the labels on foods. Before I haven't used to do that, but now I am take care about that type of information. Yeah. Do you ever find it hard to tell whether a food is healthy or not? Not really. We know when food is is bad for us when we eat a processed food, a processed a processed food. We know that yeah, probably it is a bad thing. Yeah. Do you do you think eating healthily is more difficult now than it was in the past? I really I really think so because in the past I guess yeah I guess that it was more we had more access to natural foods, at least in my region where rural areas is common and we have access to natural foods. And now exist too many type of foods, ultra processed food, and it's more than before. So yeah, I think uh, nowadays is harder eating healthily. Yeah. Okay, so we have finished that lesson. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.